Hello everybody, Dr. Nardi here, and on the screen we have measures of central tendency, also known as averages. You can see here the mean, the median, and the mode are all listed up here. However, for this video, we are going to specifically talk about the mean, and we will define what we mean by the mean, and we will also discuss how you calculate it. So the mean. This is the most common type of average, and the way you calculate this is you add up all the values and then divide by the total numbers of values. And I'll give you guys an example here in a second. And it's and the way you denote this is right there with that M, and the M, and it's italicized, is the symbol for mean, and the little lowercase n that's italicized is typically the symbol for sample size. So for example, if you were a store owner and you had 3 different locations here, if you see them right here, the downtown store, the Williamsburg store, and the Lanham Park store, and then you see your number of annual customers, and maybe you want to get an average for all 3 stores. How would you do this? Well, first you would add up 2150 plus 1534 plus 3564, and then divide by 3, right? Because how many cases do you have? 3. So you take all 3 of these numbers, you divide it by 3, and your answer should be, I'll wait for those who are working along with me, is 2,416. Absolutely. If you got that at home, fantastic. You also see averages show up everywhere you look. Now this is kind of a okay screenshot, but if you look here, Kobe Bryant, he had PPGs, or points per game, and you can see these are just averages, right? And that's a way we could tell who, for example, does better on in basketball, right? Who has the most points per game. So you see averages everywhere, right? So it's not limited to just psychology, but it's all over. So a couple things to keep in mind and things to remember as you think about the mean is the sample mean is the measure of central tendency that most accurately reflects the population mean. So it's the one it's closely aligned to the actual mean of the population. The other thing I want you all to keep in mind is the mean is very sensitive to extreme scores. And now an extreme score can pull the mean in one direction or the other. So it could, if you have a really high value, right? So you have a data set, maybe with for example, student ages, right? Maybe in college, and maybe most of your students are between 18 and let's say 35. But then you have a couple students who maybe are 88, right? Or you have some other students who are like 14. Those students can actually skew the mean in a direction. So in that way, it makes it less accurate. The other thing to keep in mind is the mean is the centermost point where all the values on one side of the mean are equal to the weight of the values on the other side of the mean. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and if you have any questions, send me an email. With that said, take care. Bye-bye.